So our next lesson is something about the perimeter, the idea of the perimeter of a square, and later on we'll look at the perimeter of objects like the rectangle. Now in our drawings in here, that we talk about the area, if we count the number of how many sides in here, if we count that, how many sides are in this square?
Oh, one. No, four, sorry.
Four, right? So if we, and each one of them is 1, right? So we count 1, yeah, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, right? And how many centimeters are that all in all?
4.
Yes. So that 4 is called the perimeter of the square.
Okay.
So the perimeter of a square in this instance, right? So the perimeter is, you just add all the sides. So the perimeter is essentially you add this side, the first side, you add the second side, you add this third side, and you add this fourth side, yeah, fourth side. And so the perimeter of this square, in figure A, is essentially 1 centimeters plus 1 centimeters plus 1 centimeters plus 1 centimeters. So 1, 1, 1, 1. And your perimeter is 4 centimeters. Now, here's the question for you. What is the perimeter of the square when each side is measured as 2 centimeters? Now, what is the perimeter of the square?
I don't know.
You have to write it. You have to do, the perimeter is side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4. Let's do it together. Right? So, perimeter. So, copy me as I write it on the board. Perimeter means P equals. Have you written it?
Yep.
So, side 1 is side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3 plus side 4. Have you done that?
Yep.
So, this is in here. This is side 1. We can adjust any side. We can choose which side do we want. We could say this is side 1, it's up to you. So let's see, which side do you want to begin with? This one or this one?
Either one.
Okay, so here, side 1, right? What's the measurement of that line?
4.
Well, that side has to be 2 because it's a square. That side has to be 2, 1, 2. Yeah, so you put below the side 1 2 centimeters.
Oh, right, yeah, I get that.
And then this side, the second side, what's the measurement of this? Because it's a square, they have the same length. 2. And what's the length of this side here?
2.
So 2, you put another 2 in here. And what's the length of this fourth side here?
2.
Yes, 2. And you add them together, what's the answer?
8.
8. So it should be, if you think about it, it's like a 2 times table with 2, 4, 6, 8. So your answer here is 8 centimeters. So if you think about it, if you know one side of the square, you essentially add it add the whole side 4 times. So the other way to think about the perimeter is essentially 4 multiplied by its side. It's really like that. Yeah. So here, in this figure, here, that you're looking, what is the perimeter of this big square? if each side, if one of its side is 3 centimeters?
12.
Yes? Well done. How did you do it so fast?
It's got like 3, 3, 3, 3.
Yes.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Yes, so 4 times 3, right?
Yeah. No,
Good.
4 times 3, yeah.
Yeah, because you're adding them 4 times. Okay, now in this one here, what's the perimeter of this square here? If one of its side is 4 centimeter, yes?
Is that 16?
Okay, the perimeter of the square is, say that?
Wait, is that the 16th one?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
So you have to say the perimeter of the square is?
The perimeter of the square is 20.
No, you were right in the first one, is 16. Yeah, because that's 4, 4, 4, and 4. If you add it, it will be 4, 8, 12, 16.
Oh, right, I thought it was the squares.
Oh,
16.
there's two things now. If I talk about if there's two topics now, it's the perimeter. The first one that we did is square area, and this one is perimeter. They're two different things. So in here is a good example. So in this figure here, yeah, each side of the square is measured 2 inches. What is the perimeter of this square?
How many squares is there in this inside?
If you want to know what's inside, that's area. If you want to know how many squares inside, that's the area of the square. But what I'm asking you is the perimeter. It's basically the boundary. I'm asking you the length of the boundary.
Is it 8? I don't know.
Okay, the perimeter of the square is, you're right, it's 8 centimeters, right?
Oh, right, okay.
And the area of the square is?
I don't know,
So here it is. Watch me carefully. When we talk about perimeter, we talk the outside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When we talk about area, we talk about what's inside. So we talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 inch square. But when we talk about perimeter, we talk about the outside. Very important.
Okay.
Now, let's go back to this, right? Figure here. I'd like to say, what is the perimeter of the square and what's the area of this square? If one of its side is 3 centimeters. What's
3
what?
centimeters. It was
What's the perimeter and what's the area?
the perimeter is 12, and the area.
Oh, yep, yeah. And the area is?
9.
Great. So, how I would like you to say this when you answer is that the perimeter of the square is 12 centimeters and the area of the square is 9 centimeter square.
Okay.
Clear. Now, let's go back to this. What's the area and perimeter of the square if one of its side is 2 centimeters?
It's just one of its side.
If one of its side is 2 centimeters long.
Just the one. Okay.
This
so-
one.
Oh, right, okay. It's 8 again.
Thank you. What? 8 what?
8 centimeters.
Very important. And then what's the area?
The area is 4
For what?
centimeters square, sorry.
Thank you. Very important.